Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is a beginner's guide on WordPress posts and pages within the Nexter theme, and hopefully at the end of this you can understand the fundamental concepts between posts and pages, and this is something that confuses beginners very often. So we're going to show you the difference between a post and a page. We're going to show you how to make a new post and a new page. We're going to show you how to customize how posts and pages look like using Nexter's theme builder. So let's get into it. Okay, so what do you need to know with a post versus a page? Well, a post is timely and dynamic, which means that when we upload or create a post, it'll have a time and date on it, whereas a page is static and evergreen. So if we made a page, it'll never have time and date on it unless you put it on there yourself, right? This page was created on, but it doesn't actually have it on the back end, and that information isn't really saved or shown. One thing with posts is that they have a hierarchy, which means that you can have well, which comes first, right? Which is newer, which is older. You can also have categories, right? And you can also have tags. With pages, you don't have that. So where you use posts, well, you can have it for blog posts, news articles, tutorials, recipes, whereas pages form the core basis of your website. So your homepage, your About Us page, your Contact Us page, so on and so forth. Okay, sometimes you might not even ever want to use posts on your website, but here we go. So let's start off by making a new post, right? We're here on our dashboard. Hover over posts and click on add post. And this will take us to the WordPress block editor. And you can see over here that we have a whole bunch of options. So if you're new to WordPress and you've never seen this part of it yet, let's go right or left. And this is what they call the WordPress block editor or Gutenberg block editor. And this is where we will make our pages and posts. But for now, this one is new post. Okay, we're going to give it a title, new post 1. And over here, you can see on the right-hand side, we have these 3 dots over here, which is options, and you can check this out if you need to. This is our publish button to save and publish it, okay. We have our right-hand sidebar button called the settings button over here. We have this Nexter customizer, which is some presets for typography. Our view button, and we can change if we're going to view it on desktop, tablet, or mobile, and we can preview it in a new tab. Alternatively, we can also view the post on the live site, and we can click on that, and you can see this is what our new post looks like, and it's blank because you haven't added anything yet. And over here we have our options, right, under the right hand sidebar. We have our post options. We have a title over here. We can rename it, we can view it, we can send it to trash. We can set the featured image. This is something that pages don't have. Okay, let's set this as our featured image. We have our data over here. We have categories, right? So we can select which ones, or we can add right, recipe. Actually, I think I misspelled that. Recipe. Hit enter, and it's going to be a category that's brand new. Okay, we can have parent category, we can have subcategories, and this is what we mean by hierarchy. You can also add tags. Okay, and we have sidebar settings here. We can enable or disable our sidebar. Just keep it on default. And over here, we have our paste option. We have our document overview. We have our undo and redo button. And last but not least, we have a block inserter. And you can see over here, we have a whole bunch of blocks. We can search for these. And we have so many to choose from. You can see Nexter's on the top over here. And let's try to type something here. So we can either type or choose a new block by pressing the plus icon over here. But let's type test. Okay. And you can see we have options here, right? If we click anywhere else, right, it's just probably our post options. And if we clicked on this and then clicked on this, we will have our paragraph options. So you can see we can change the color, the background, we can change the typography size, and some other things, but that's about it. And keep a note that this one with the black icon is a default WordPress paragraph. And you can see if you scroll down, you can see all of the default WordPress ones. Now, what if we added something from Nexter? Okay, you can drag and drop it anywhere on the site. It's designed from scratch, and you can see that the placeholder text is different. There's a lot, and we have so many different options over here on our Nexter block. So that's one advantage of using a third-party block library or theme, is that it gives you so much more control depending on which one you choose. So it's going to click on Save and take a look at our live site. Okay, and this is going to be the post. All right. Okay, and you can see it's kind of bare here. So let's go ahead and click on Customize real quick. Okay, and this will take us to the WordPress Customizer. Now, there's going to be some options over here. Let's go ahead and go under Blog, Single Post, and you can see we've disabled everything. Let's enable all of that real quick and click on Publish. And now you can see that we have our featured image here. We have our post title, we have our post date, our tags, our... Oh wait, no, these are our categories. This is our author, that's me. Hi everyone. This is our body. These are our tags. We have previous post, okay? And we have next post. And you can see that we click on tags. It's going to take us to a archive for different areas. And you can see we have our comment section over here. And that's basically what we have for our blog. So keep in mind that, you know, we revealed all of these other options here, which are default to posts. Now let's go ahead and enter the dashboard again, and let's take a look at creating a brand new page. Let's say make up over here, pages, add page. Okay, it's going to take us to the WordPress block editor once more. And I don't need to explain everything because everything is basically the same. We can have a featured image here, but it's not the same as a post, okay? So let's go ahead and give this a title, new page 1. Let's add the same thing. How about that? Page, paragraph. Design from scratch. Let's click on Publish. Okay, now let's view the page, and you can see that we don't have everything on here. Now, if you went to Customize, you won't find any options to hide or show anything. So what gives? This is the difference between posts and pages. With posts, you have all of these layouts. You have your metadata over here. You have previous post, next post. You have the comment section. And depending on your theme, you could add these options, these sections, these blocks, comments, metadata, hierarchy, if you wanted to, right? Links and clicks everywhere. But hopefully this shows right away that with posts, you have all of these, and with a page, that's basically all you get. Okay? Now, let's head over to the WordPress dashboard. Okay? And let's enter the customizer once more. And this time, instead of using the top toolbar, let's head over to Appearance and click on Customize. And we're going to show you how to make your site look a bit better without customizing everything by default. So earlier we were able to drag and drop the paragraph blocks, right? And if we edited them, right, I'll open this in a new tab, and it's going to be the same for both of these, right? We have our block of text over here, and we can manually remove some text, we can change how this looks like, we can change our typography, and you can see that it's default. And if we clicked on this, it's going to say that, do you want to revert back to, or clear to reset it. But if we went ahead and clicked on any of these, you can see that we can change how the, we can change how all of this looks like. So if I put times, and I saved it, and I reloaded this, it'll change, right? But what if I reset this back to default and saved it, right? And then reloaded this, it's going to go back to where it was, right? I probably just didn't save right. Oops. Save. Reload. Huh. It's probably something to do with our cache. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at our customizer settings. So these are just general options, right? So if you're starting your site and you don't want to mess with anything, you might want to go over to typography, and then you can change your default heading size over here. So I'll change this to overpass, publish that, and let's go ahead and go to typography test. Okay. Let's go ahead and change this to OVO. And let's reload this. And you can see that our heading 1 has now changed. And if we went over here and took a look at our typography test, you will find that these are just heading blocks. And over here, you'll notice that the title tags are different. So these are all default. And if I were to change something here, right, like I can go to heading 3 and then change the font over there, and then reloaded this. Oops, not for this. For this, you can see our font over here changed. Okay, so if we went ahead and reloaded this, nothing will change, probably. Oh, there you go. Our header now changed for this. And if we went over back to new post, you can see our header, our title for this one also changed by default. Okay, so if you didn't want to mess with having to set up the fonts and sizes one by one each time you wrote a blog post or made a page, you can do that by default by setting your defaults in the WordPress customizer. So hopefully that's clear for this, and also it's going to be the same for your text color and your heading color. Let's go ahead and change this to magenta, and let's go back to typography test, and you can see this is now magenta, and if we went back over here to new post, it's going to be magenta as well. Let's go back to the dashboard, and let's take a look at how to set these things up. Okay, so earlier in the video, we showed you how to enable or disable our title, our meta, and everything. But what if I told you that you didn't have to be constrained by whatever is on here? What if I told you you could just completely remove some of these, or you could move this area down here, you can move the post title down here, you can move the, alternatively, you can move all of these up here above the featured image in WordPress Nexter. Some themes don't allow you to do that. Some themes, you're kind of constrained, you're kind of stuck with this. But with Nexter, it allows you, in a very simple coding-free way, to customize that. And that's called the Nexter Theme Builder. So we're in our dashboard, hover over Nexter extension, and then click on Theme Builder. Okay. Now let's click on Add New Template. And let's go ahead and click on Singular. Post. Oops. Test 1. Next. And then we're going to include it on all posts. And let's create. Okay, and you can also include it only for certain taxonomies. So for certain categories, you might want to do this a bit differently, right? So if you had one that was news, right? A blog post or a WordPress post that was for news, you might want to have certain things in a different place. Or if you had a recipe, you could have things in a different place on the same website. So let's go over here to the WordPress block editor, and let's put here post, post content, post title, post image, post author, post meta info, and the content is over here. Let's go ahead and click on publish and view the template. So here we have our template on here. Let's go ahead and preview all posts, save, and then let's view the template again. Oops. Save that. See how that looks like. See if it changes. And if not, let's go ahead and reload this. And you can see something is up. So for this one, let's go ahead and put here post full content. There you go. That was my mistake. Excuse me. Let's reload this. And there you go. We have our 2 titles over here. Let's delete that. Save that. And then reload this. And you can see that compared to earlier, we have our text over here. We have our metadata over here. And then here's our area. And we don't even have the comment section because we didn't put that. Let's go ahead and add the comments over here. And let's put the post image underneath the title. Save that. And you can see that our layout is a bit different. The featured image is a bit smaller. And if we wanted to, we can go ahead and customize all of this. So if I wanted to put my, I'll click on here, document overview. I'll put post author down here. Comments will go first. Post info and title will be here. If you clicked on each one of these, you can see that under layout, we can also, well, we can change the alignment, right? We can center this up, but for instance, under post meta info, we can change where this appears, right? We can put a separator between, we can change the separator between. So there you go. We can change the typography, the color, the dates, right? We can hide or show them. In fact, let's go ahead and click on save, and you'll see that the changes will reflect right away, right? And every single post will start to look like this. So this one, I can center this. This one, I can center this as well. Let's go ahead and click on save, reload that. And there you go. We're starting to customize how each one of these posts is starting to look like. So if I wanted to put here, I can put here next post, previous post over here, like that. And this is just the default WordPress ones. I can go ahead and reload this. And you can see we have previous over here. Did I save next? Oh, there wouldn't be next because I had this. That's the latest one, and we have the next over here. Okay, then you can customize how that looks like. And we can also add breadcrumbs over here, right? These are just the default Nextdoor blocks. You can see we now have our breadcrumbs over here. Right, save that, reload this. You can see things are looking a bit better. Right, so this is just a basic overview so far on how posts and pages are a bit different. So we're not going to get into making headers and footers and all that other stuff. We're just concerned about making sure that you understand the difference between a post and a page. So let's go ahead and make a new, well, we have our new page over here, but how about we make it our home page? Okay, so if we went over here to the Nextdoor extension and went under theme builder, right, we only have posts. We can make a single front page template. Now, if we went to pages, okay, and we clicked on CNC front page. This is from a different video, and we have new page over number 1 over here, right? You can see that the front page by default is 404. Okay, and if we went to our home page, right, hit enter, reload, that's why it's displaying, because this is our front page and it says home page right here, and we can change that by setting that up over here. Or if we went to new page number 1, we can set it as our home page, set as home page, save it, right? And if we reloaded our site on the home page, this will disable. So that's one of the major differences, is that you can set up your home page via doing that, right? So there's no before or after, there's no time, there's no date, there's no comment section. Obviously, you can add those if you wanted to, right? You can put post comments over here, and if we went and visit the site, even if it's on there, it's not going to display because this is a page, right? So this is only for comments area. Though you could, again, put whatever you wanted, right? So if you wanted to put breadcrumbs over here, save this, and then reloaded our home page, it'll only say home because that's where we are, right? So in as much as hierarchy, that's where we go in terms of navigation, right? If we went to a different page on our site, it's going to say home and in that page, rather than over here where it gives you the categories and everything. Okay, so it's kind of tricky to have to go in manually and change whichever one is your front page. What if I told you that under Nextr extension, we can make a whole bunch of, well, under Nextr theme builder, we can make a whole bunch of different front page templates, front page areas, and we can switch between them very easily. So again, let's make a new template. Let's call it singular home page template 1. Next. And we're going to display this on the front page. Create. Okay, it's going to take us to the block editor, which is now the theme builder. And let's go ahead and insert some things. So let's go ahead and put on a number counter. Let's put on, let's get it a number, can we? Okay, that's good. We'll put a pricing list, we'll put a pricing table. Okay, click on publish. And now, oops, now if we went over to our home page here, let's click reload. And now that's what it looks like. Now, if we were to go back over here, right, we see our home page template 1. Let's disable that. Let's reload this. And it goes back to the default one, which is new page number 1, which we set by default in our pages. So that's something cool that you can do with Nextr, is that you can have a bunch of different home pages, and you can switch between them rather than having to manually create assign each one in each homepage. Now, another cool thing that you can do with an Nextr theme builder is if you have a header, right? Let's go ahead and make one real quick. Add a new template, header 2, additional settings, normal, next. Include in entire website, or we can have singulars, or we can exclude it from specific pages, right? So we can have a front page, or we can put in a particular page, right, where we don't want to have this. But we'll have this on the whole website. Okay. We'll have header 2 here. Let's make a simple layout here with a container. Let's put over here logo, site logo, and then let's replace this with one of our images, right? And we'll set this to middle, and let's put over here social icons. Okay, let's click on publish, and let's reload this, and it's gonna appear on the entire website. Okay, Okay, so what if we went ahead and selected all of this, right? This up here, right? We're selecting this container of everything. What if we grouped it, right? And then we made a pattern, and we'll call this header to pattern. All right. We'll add this. Okay. So this is a header to pattern. All right. Very nice. Let's go back over here. Oops. Yep. And let's go over to homepage template 1. And we wanted to have our header pattern number 1 over here. So header to pattern, right? We can put that down here. We can have it over here. Save that, and you'll see that it should double up. There you go. And if I wanted to, I can go ahead and either disable this, right, which will disable it obviously, but I can display it on the entire website except from the front page, right? So let's reload this. Okay, it's not going to be on there, and again, we're going to get our default logo over there, our icon, and this is separate from the actual header area. Now, if we went over to our dashboard over here, went under posts, click on all posts, and took a look at new post again, and let's go ahead and view it, right? You can see that the header is over here and our logo icon is smaller. Okay, so that's something cool that you can do with the Nexter theme builder, is that you can, well, for pages and posts, you can assign different, well, you can change the layout for posts, and for pages, you can have, you can assign different templates on the fly, and that's what makes it easier, right? And that's the beauty of having the Nexter theme. Alternatively, you can create patterns also with the templates, and then add them onto your already existing page templates. Okay, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The differences between posts and pages in WordPress through the Nexter theme. Keep in mind that if you use a default theme or any other theme, this might come out a bit different, but the basics of WordPress is that, again, posts are ephemeral and dynamic. Yeah, right? They'll have their meta over here, they'll have their hierarchy, as you can see, and they'll have comments and, you know, previous and next. Whereas pages, again, keep in mind, are static, right? There's no previous or next, there's no metadata, there's no nothing like that. If you're going to change it, you're going to have to change it manually. So if you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out with the YouTube algorithm. Show this kind of video to other nerds like us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you want to know where to get the blocks that we used in this video to make forms real simple, real easy, check out the link in the description. It'll take you to the website of Nexter, where you can get the Nexter blocks yourself. Now, if you check out the pricing, they have 3 different levels: starter, professional, and studio. We recommend getting the studio one because it's a one-time payment. It's lifetime. You get all the blocks, so you don't have to worry about not having the right blocks to get what you need done. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, if you found this video helpful, be sure to check out one of our other videos, or go ahead and check out our channel and subscribe to see more content like this.